everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And it is an emergency edition. We weren't planning on coming back until night one of the draft, but
Breaking
the
news.
Panthers, have made a big move.
Yeah.
Our former quarterback from last year is no longer a Carolina Panther. The Panthers have traded quarterback Teddy Bridgewater to the Denver Broncos for a 2021 sixth-round pick. And some salary. Panthers are going to be paying Teddy about $7 million in salary. The Denver Broncos will be paying him $3 million this year. And Jerry, I think you have some more specifics on how that affects the cap.
Yeah, I was going to say Elena Getzenberg from the Charlotte Observer said that he was due $18 million in 2021, and the Panthers are actually saving over $12 million in cap space. He will account $10 million this year and $5 million next year. So overall, we're getting out from under that contract. We're getting a sixth-round draft pick isn't anything really to write home about. It doesn't really counterbalance that Sam Darnold trade, getting those draft picks back, that second-round pick. But at the same time, you're freeing up that $10 million really helps out this team, especially because we don't know how this draft is going to go. I mean, at the 8th pick, they could trade back or they could, draft somebody. If Justin Fields falls, they could pick him up. There's still some quality left tackles out there on free agency that they could spend on.
Right, and there will be cuts.
There will be cuts.
We know that the Falcons are, shopping Julio. I mean, a lot of these teams still need to get under salary cap. So, not saying the Panthers are going to go after Julio, but that's an example of a team that is trying to get rid of some good players. So there are going to be good players available out there that the Panthers can use that money on, or use that money to re-sign Robbie Anderson or extend DJ Moore. There's a lot of things that they could do with that money. So, but let's talk about Teddy. A little bit of a not a successful stint in Carolina.
No.
Last year, his only year with the Panthers, his record was 4-11, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,700 passing yards. We talked a lot about it. Everybody knows how we feel about it. We did not particularly like Teddy. A lot of clutch issues with Teddy. Didn't feel like he took enough chances down the field, or really any chances down the field towards the later part of the season, at least. So not super sad to see him go, and kind of glad the Panthers were able to find someone to take that salary off of our hands.
Exactly. And I think that's the majority of what we need to grasp from this. That 0-8 with, that fourth quarter comeback, I think that was the nail on his coffin. Yeah. I think Tepper saw that, because from all reports, it's coming more from Tepper that he's got to go.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, I mean, Tepper has been very clear that he is not going to accept mediocrity. And, 0-8 in clutch situations is not going to get you to the playoffs.
And he looked bad in those clutch situations.
He did, yeah.
Like missing a wide open. I vividly remember Curtis Samuel streaking one time, wide open, and he checked it down. And this is late fourth quarter. You need to be pushing the ball.
Right. Yeah, there you could probably count to 10 situations like that where you and I were both like, "What? Why? Why are you making that pass? Why are you making that decision?"
You got one-on-one with DJ Moore. You force it down there. You say, "Hey, DJ, you're our number one guy," or even Robbie Anderson, "You're our guy. Go get it."
Yeah. So what does this mean for the Panthers? I don't think anything's changed really, other than frees up some money. But quarterback-wise, I think you and I are probably still of the opinion that if Justin Fields is there, they're going to have to think really seriously about taking him. And if not, then they probably will trade back.
Yeah, or if Penei Sewell. But from all accounts, every report is now saying that Cincinnati's interested, Detroit Lions are interested. So I don't have a feeling he's going to be coming down.
Don't know that this moves the needle much in terms of what the Panthers' plans are for the draft or post-draft, but this was kind of an expected decision that would be made once the Sam Darnold trade was made. And honestly, Denver seems like all along it's been Denver, in the rumors, and that seemed to be what it was. Just what would compensation be?
It seems like he fit with the Broncos want to do. I think they still want to give Drew Lock one last chance, and if not, they want to have a capable backup that could step in and start and maybe win them some games. And that's what Bridgewater is. He's not going to be the franchise guy.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens with them, because they also are a team that is, if Fields falls to 9, a team that could easily take him, or, there has been talk that they could trade up a few spots to try to get ahead of the Panthers to grab him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, I don't think this probably doesn't move the needle much for them in terms of what they're going to do, because they're only paying him $3 million this year. And they only gave up a 6th-round pick to get him. So much like the Panthers, they just don't have a ton invested in, a potential new quarterback like we have with Sam Darnold. So
and they're probably able to get out of it next year without any issues.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I assume his contract goes with him, and they could, it's weird. You said Elena said that we're $5 million dead cap next year. That's what it would have been had we cut Teddy next year. Would have been a $5 million cap hit. So
that may have been some sort of
maybe we're taking
a guarantee that
on.
he did earlier. And you're absolutely right. That we already paid him that money.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that the Broncos could probably maybe even cut him this year and incur no penalty. So
it looks like they would have a $3 million dead cap if they cut him.
Okay.
So $3 million, I'm sure he's making that roster. He's a quality backup.
He's not a bad quarterback.
No.
He's not a franchise guy, which is what the Panthers are desperate for right now.
Yeah. And he would have a $21 million cap hit next year if they didn't cut him. That's what Spot Rack is reporting.
So given that they only gave up a 6th-round pick and they're only paying him $3 million this year, I'm going to guess that he will be a free agent next year.
Yeah.
Unless he just lights it up for them this year, which based on what we saw this year, is probably not.
Do they have the weapons to light it up?
I mean, they have
Jerry Jeudy and
they got Cortland. Was it Cortland Sutton? Or what was his name? Not Cortland Sutton.
And they have Melvin Gordon, former Charger running back. They've
got some decent weapons.
They got some decent weapons, but look, I wouldn't mark them better than the weapons he had last year.
No, I think the Panthers have much better weapons. Of course,
exactly.
With CMC was out all year, that hurt. But the receivers were there. Like he had people to throw to. Offensive line wasn't very good. I don't know what the offensive line looks like in Denver. And we're not a Denver Broncos podcast, so we're not going to talk about it too much. But I would imagine that Teddy Bridgewater is probably a backup for the rest of his career. He'll get a spot start here and there. But I think his time as a starting quarterback, looked at as a potential franchise quarterback, is over.
You know who he reminds me of? Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton had a couple starts in Chicago where they thought he could do it. But then after that, he was always known as that backup that could have a couple starts and good game for you, but he's not going to lead that team all year long.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Do you find it funny that the Panthers got less of a return from Cam Newton and Teddy Bridgewater than they got for Kyle Allen on the trade block?
Can I just say you kind of blew my mind with that little that little information? Yeah. I was like, "Whoa, yeah,
that's
you're
interesting, right?" Obviously, it has everything to do with salary, right? But it's interesting.
It's very interesting. Yeah,
it's interesting. So I don't know. You got anything else you wanted to kind of discuss here before we wrap it up?
Not really. I like the signing when they signed Bridgewater last year.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of was rough on him, no training camp and all that, but he got worse throughout the year, and that was the big nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Sorry, Brandy just walked in. She's looking at me weird. Why are you doing a podcast in the middle of the afternoon? Um, huh?
Yeah, some of us work.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was something where we had high hopes, I think, for
Mhm.
Teddy. But in the back of our mind, also, it was like
The contract itself
the
was
contract was a lot, and it wasn't exciting, right? Just like the Sam Darnold thing, like it's not exciting to take on somebody's leftovers,
Yeah.
And Teddy Bridgewater had a pretty good, stretch there with New Orleans. So there was some positivity there, but it just wasn't like I don't think any of us thought, oh, all right, we finally got the answer at quarterback.
Well, when we signed, I loved the contract. It was didn't love it, but I liked the contract as a 2-year get out of it type of situation. And it's unfortunate that in 1 year it was proved that he wasn't growing as a player and we needed to get out after one.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, and we've talked about it before, my whole problem was why are you paying a guy, even if it is a 2-year deal, $42 million or whatever it was for 2 years, when we're supposed to be rebuilding, right? And we have Kyle Allen, we have Will Grier on the roster. We could just give them the shot. I mean,
And worst case scenario, tank for Trevor Lawrence.
I think history has proven that we were right.
Mm-hmm.
That we should have just rolled with Kyle Allen and seen what happened, and if Kyle Allen lights it up and is, better than advertised, then great. And if not, then we're sitting in that 1, 2, 3 spot in the draft and we're getting our guy anyway.
Yeah, we'd have definitely been 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that Washington win, if we would have lost that game, would have been at number 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing is like, even with Kyle Allen, would Kyle Allen have been much worse than Teddy? I don't know. Honestly. I don't know. We might have been better as a team, because Kyle Allen at least is going to take shots.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that last year. So I don't know. But, the Teddy Bridgewater era is over and a new era will begin soon, whether it's Sam Darnold or, based on our mock, could be Justin Fields.
Yep. We will be back hopefully.
Hey, one second. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I want to ask you, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was like, should we do a whole podcast about this? But no, but I'm glad that we have this opportunity. What is the worst case scenario for you in the draft coming up Thursday?
Kyle
tomorrow?
Pitts.
I mean, seriously.
Seriously?
Like, assuming the Panthers, not even assuming the Panthers anything. What's worst case and what the worst thing that could happen
we draft a
for
bust
you?
at number 8?
Yeah, but what would make you feel like, at 10:30, whatever time it is after the Panthers pick Thursday night, what would make you go, that's not what I hoped would happen? I mean, is there anything? We've gone exhaustively through these guys.
I guess trading back and not getting good compensation. That, we drop back 3 spots or 4 spots. We miss out on like a Fields or a Slater. Even though I'm not big on Slater, I feel if he's there, I get why we would take him. I'm not super excited.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure he's a left tackle, but I still feel good about the pick because he can move around that O-line and start somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just have this feeling that Panthers gonna do something weird, like maybe trade back too far. Like I don't want them to trade back to like 20, because it seems like, and from what Fitterer has said, that this is a 15 guy draft. They got 15 guys they really like. So trading back to 20 or something and picking up even a first rounder next year, a couple first rounders, 20 seems too far for me. And I don't think I'd be excited about that.
See, you say 15, 16 guys, but I don't think 5 of those are quarterbacks. I think
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
From all reports I'm reading, it seems like they have really 2 quarterbacks that they grade high. Trevor Lawrence is one. Everybody knows that.
Sure.
But it also seems like Justin Fields is that type of guy for them. I don't think that they're really according to the reports, really interested in Lance or Mac Jones. I think if those two fall to us, I think they still won't draft them. I think they'll drop back, hopefully, or
it'll be interesting to see if like Lance is available and Fields isn't. What happens? And another thing is like this is the time of smoke screens. This is the time of teams lying to everyone that they can to try to gain a minuscule advantage. So we're hearing that they like Fields. Are we hearing that because they want other teams to make mistakes and trade up ahead of the Panthers to take him off the board so somebody else falls to us?
Yeah,
I mean, who knows?
My friend texted me yesterday. It says like it looks like you lost that running back bet because the Pittsburgh's going to draft Najee Harris. I was like, dude, this is not the draft yet. The draft hasn't happened. This is all smoke screen.
Nothing has happened yet. But yeah, I mean, I think I've heard like two running backs will be taken in the top 25. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I kind of regret that one because I do think ETN will probably go in the first now.
Yeah.
The more and more I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, he could go.
It's almost like the running back hate has gone too far.
I agree.
The draft,
I think this is just also a rough running back draft period because there have been running backs in the past few years going the top
like
10.
Saquon Barkley,
Christian McCaffrey,
Fournette. I mean that they've been around, but yeah, I mean I heard someone say that the Dolphins could easily take one of these guys at 18,
and that seems like a good fit.
Yeah. So you've got teams that could use running backs, but yeah, I know we've already litigated all of this stuff. So I don't know. I'm just excited about the draft, man. It's like 24 hours or 36 hours away or something. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. I'm not looking forward to staying up super late to watch the draft, but
you took Friday off, you said, so you're good to go.
No, I didn't take Friday off.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should.
I said that I could sleep in a little bit and maybe miss part of it.
Gotcha.
Part of my workday.
Well, that's a good idea. I'm going to do the same, although I have to get up and take my son to daycare. So, Oh, well. Bye, Teddy.
Yeah, bye, Teddy. All right. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And we will be back Thursday night with the podcast and video, hopefully on YouTube. So,
yeah, we'll be back with a rapid reaction of whoever they take. So until then, everybody, take it easy and keep pounding.